My name is Debrah Igbinedion and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I have with me actor, director and writer Kaylen Francis. How are you?
I'm well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Right. You wrote, directed and starred in The Healer, a short film that was funded by John Boyega and Converse. What was the process behind making the film?
It was a very, very unique process. Typically, when you're in a situation in the film industry, you'd have like a script already made and then it'll be kind of going from that kind of flow. But because we had deadlines set for us, so we had like kind of I had to quickly come up with an idea within like a time frame to then shoot. So it was definitely like kind of a little bit hectic, but it was very, very fun and just very it was like kind of like almost going through a position of growing so fast because it's just like you're learning so much things at once. Question, long answer, short. My apologies. Yeah, no, it was a very cool process. Literally just kind of grinding hard, going to the office at Converse and just going through treatments, going through scripts, shouting friends and seeing their opinions and just getting that fast turnaround.
You co-directed a horror film. What was the
Yeah.
message you wanted to tell behind the film?
I guess long story short, I think everyone said these conspiracies regards like in the industry and stuff like that, like the 27 Club. Um, so I guess in one element of just kind of talking about those kind of themes, but I guess the key thing is about the consequences of compromise.
Mhm.
So obviously the main character, or one of the main characters, should I say, he was someone that always had the passion to become a music artist, and he ended up basically getting in the wrong crowd and sacrificing a lot to achieve that. He just wanted to kind of show the dark sides of, compromise is not necessarily like signing a mad contract or some dark stuff, but it's kind of going against your character. And I guess in a way, in a symbolic sense, if you kind of keep compromising and you end up being something that you're not, it's kind of you yourself are more or less dead because that's not you anymore. You become someone else entirely beyond your own kind of free will. So the message exploring the consequences of compromise.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned in your career that you like never do again?
I would say definitely the lesson I've learned anyway is that making a film is a family business. And when I say family business, I mean like it takes a whole team of people coming together to make this one project. Like the African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a whole family to make a film. And that's something that I've definitely learned. I'll say that will try and do like everything by myself because number one, it's impossible. And also I'm aware of just I think when you get older or the more wise or more knowledge you gain, you realize the less you actually like the less you know. The more you know, the more you realize there's so much that you don't know.
Mhm.
And working with a team of people who have all these wonderful experiences and expertise, for instance, like an art director, as a director, or even a writer as well, I can say, yeah, I've got a character that is in the middle of these GCSEs and he's stressed and his room's messy, right? But an art director can really go into that and be like, what GCSE does. He's art GCSE, so there'll be pictures of like Picasso or Vincent van Gogh, or in the background, and there's so much stuff that he can put in to symbolize who that character is, and same thing for costume, even lighting. And it's like it's beautiful to collaborate with these minds and just help make the story come to more life. So
Mhm.
yeah, I wouldn't ever basically try and dictate a set or a story. I'd be very collaborative, and I'd recommend anyway for people to see the beauty in collaboration as opposed to like being this is my story and be very egotistical about things.
As a director, producer, and writer, how how do you manage to balance it all?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think, do you know what it is? I think it's like a pendulum. It's a balance of things. So sometimes I predominantly writing, sometimes directing, and sometimes producing. It all kind of come together or mingle around each other. But I guess if I had to call a few as my passion, really, I think what causes me or allows me to do all these things is that I really love telling stories and I really want to make these stories and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And coming from my background, I didn't really go to drama school for acting wise or even film school. But I was just, a kid with a couple of friends and a camera and I wanted to make something. And coming from that background, you know, you kind of have to learn fast. Okay, so as an actor, if I act this way, it's gonna look bad in camera. As a director, these sharing shots is not going to work. Writing, you know, so like all these things come together. So I guess one is having passion to, you know, to a story and to an idea allows you to, you know, put more energy into it. And then number two, I guess just track record. I've worked on a lot of films from that way, basically grassroots, very guerrilla filmmaking, and that's kind of helped me to develop all those skills equally.
Is there anybody that inspires you, whether that's in your acting or directing or writing? And
It's maybe a very corny answer, but I'll say life. Just life itself is very inspirational. Like the other day, for example, my friend's mum was having like a I think it was like a 50th birthday party or 60th. I can't remember what it was, but she's Nigerian and she was just like she had this whole like hall and it was very like it was very festive and um I come from a Nigerian background myself, but it's not as like my grand come on. Whereas my granddad and my mum's side, right? So I haven't really fully tapped into a culture, right? But when I was looking at it, I was just amazed at just how beautiful it was and just like to this point of 2022 or 2023, sorry, how many years of just people's existence to really cultivate to this point. So it's just that's just one instance, but I can just be at the bus, I can see a conversation or just people in general. Um, and yeah, so I feel like I always say this. I think obviously when you're a doctor, for example, you have your textbooks, or if you want to be a lawyer, there's a textbook to learn how to, you know, in the court of law. But when you're a filmmaker, life is your biggest textbook and inspiration because there is beauty all around. And if you really learn to tap into it, then the stories you can create are endless. In regards to finding me, you can find me on Instagram. My at is at Kaylen Francis. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm mainly on Instagram, social media wise. But if you go on YouTube and you just type in my name, and just any of the works like The Healer or Family Matters 27, you'll see me there, basically.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you for having me.
Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with everyone, share with family, friends, everyone.
Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all of that, all of that.